You're listening to The Signal Daily. Hi, I'm Shorbari, your host for The Signal Daily podcast. This is the episode for 25th June 2024. Today we're diving into the world of pet parents and their fur babies, asking, is treating cats and dogs like our own kids really good for our furry friends? And in our main segment, we talk about the checkered past of the National Testing Agency that has come under fire over allegations of severe mismanagement and discrepancies in the NEET and NET exams. I have a rather curious question for you. What fundamentally changes when we start treating our pets less like animals and more like our own children? Because in the last decade or so, pet parents have begun to spoil their cats and dogs almost to the hilt. We've got custom diets for our fur babies, we don't let them go outside as often, and now we're even pushing them around in strollers. It's possible that such obsessive pet parenting might be good for the human beings pampering them. Because according to one survey of 1,000 American pet owners, having pets make people more responsible and thrifty indeed, particularly if they don't have children of their own. But veterinary scientists are not so sure if babysitting cats and dogs is actually good for our furry friends as well. James Serpell, who's a professor of ethics and animal welfare, told the New York Times, and I'm reading it out, quote, "The problem is dogs and cats are not children, and owners have become increasingly protective and restrictive. So animals are not being able to express their own doggy and catty natures as freely as they might," end quote. So what Professor Serpell is seeing is actually spot on. We can see it ourselves, right? We don't let out cats anymore because of the tendency to hunt and butcher whatever they find. We live in boxy apartments with no room for our dogs to run and bark. We often lock them inside whenever we have to go out. And as a result, according to one survey, roughly 60% of cats and dogs are now overweight, developing lifestyle diseases more than ever before. But that brings us to the second big change. Pet parents might be spoiling their pets with their abundant love, but they're also more than willing to drain their pockets at the vet clinic. Some are even ready to take on debt, in fact. This shift in attitude has completely transformed the pet healthcare industry. As the New York Times notes, the vet office, which was once limited to pulling out thorns from paws and noses and performing neutering operations and giving out vaccinations, is now a full-fledged hospital outfitted with costly MRI machines, advanced lab technology, and 24/7 ICUs. Animal healthcare is now a booming business with private equity investments surging globally. According to one estimate, between 2017 and 2022, private equity invested $45 billion in the veterinary sector, which means expensive care options for your pet are going to start booming. But as pet parents often argue, raising pets is still cheaper than raising children. And you can't definitely argue with that. And now for our second segment, we are going to bring you deep dives on stories from the world of technology, business, policy, and anything that leaves you with food for thought. India has always had an obsession with cutthroat tests, and now everyone is facing a great reckoning. A system designed to force kids to spend their best years cramming in a coaching center, all to be locked in combat with fellow students for a chance at a good life, has been shattered. I'm talking about the NTA. The NTA, the National Testing Agency, and the incessant exam paper leaks that are destroying its credibility. So the NTA is the autonomous body under the Education Ministry that is responsible for conducting entrance examinations, admissions, and recruitments. And just in the last couple of weeks, 2 entrance exam-related controversies have hit the country, potentially compromising the credibility of the NTA. First is the NEET exam for undergrad medical aspirants, and the other ones are the UGC NET and the CSIR UGC NET exams, which are biannual aptitude tests held to determine the eligibility for lecturership and junior research fellowship for students pursuing an academic career. There are many developments in this story, so let's look at them one by one. Now, we had already talked about the 2024 NEET controversy in a previous episode. Several students and parents moved the Supreme Court alleging egregious irregularities in this year's NEET exam, including paper leaks. If you've missed that episode, you can check it out on our show notes for in-depth info on what's happened with the NEET exam so far. But this past Saturday, that is 23rd June, a retest was scheduled for 1,563 students who were given quote-unquote grace marks after it was alleged that the grace marks for lost time in different centers were awarded arbitrarily and in an opaque manner. So at least 494 candidates among the 1,563 candidates hailed from the Jhajjar district of Haryana. And thanks to the grace marks, 6 of them managed a perfect score to become toppers of NEET 2024. So now, essentially all these people had to go for a retest. But as per the NTA, 48% of these 1,563 candidates were in no-show. The Indian Express reported that the mood in Jhajjar's exam center was that of anxiety as students were worried if they'll be able to score similar marks in the retest. They were also upset about having to go through this for no fault of their own. In the meantime, the NTA sent show-cause notices to 17 students from Bihar and 30 from Godhra, debarring them from the retest for unfair practices. This move was based on a report by the Economic Offences Unit of the Bihar Police, which actually unearthed some really interesting and concerning evidence. So as per the Indian Express, the Economic Offences Unit or the EOU that was probing the paper leak is said to have found burnt photocopies of certain question papers and 68 questions reportedly matched with the original question paper. The unique exam center code of a certain Oasis school from Jharkhand was also recovered from the burnt scraps of paper. And this revelation is obviously huge, right? So now even the CBI has gotten involved with the investigation. In fact, 18 people have already been arrested in connection to the case so far. Now, just days after all this ruckus broke out over the NEET exam, another important entrance exam, which is the UGC NET that I mentioned earlier, also held by the NTA on behalf of the University Grant Commission, was cancelled just a day after it was held on 18th June. Again, the problem here was fears of alleged paper leak. Reportedly, the Education Ministry received inputs from the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, which, quote-unquote, indicated that the integrity of the UGC NET exam may have been compromised. Subsequently, the CSIR UGC NET exam, which is the same eligibility exam but for science subjects, was also postponed. But this is obviously casting a shadow of doubt over the NTA's abilities to conduct nationwide exams seamlessly. I mean, it's not the same as cancelling or rescheduling a silly class test, right? We're looking at mismanagement of a massive scale that has the potential to mess with the future of lakhs and lakhs of Indian students. So fearing backlash, the Education Ministry replaced the previous Director General of the NTA, Subodh Kumar Singh, with retired Indian Administrative Officer Pradeep Singh Kharola. But many point out that this is actually a systemic problem. You see, the NTA has a huge responsibility. It conducts close to 15 national level exams, including JEE and CMAT. However, since its formation in 2017, it has faced criticism for paper leaks, mismanagement, discrimination, and discrepancies in the examination process. In 2017, for instance, there were allegations of major leaks in the Staff Selection Commission exams. A pretty terrible track record, if you ask me. But the bigger question is, will there be accountability? This is a developing story, so follow the Signal for more updates. If you like listening to the Signal Daily, please show some support. Rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. This episode was researched, written and produced by me, Shorbari, and Anup Semwal. Edited by Soumya Gupta. Mastered and mixed by Yash Hirve. You can catch this podcast every morning on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are thesignal.co on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.